everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I thought I'd show you an example of a World War II German Eastern Front map, as well as explain and break down the aspects of the map for you. Now, as with all videos I make of translations, I don't speak German, and so there could be a few minor misinterpretations of certain words, but I have used a wide variety of translation tools, such as the German English Military Dictionary, to try and get translations as accurate as possible. So many of the parts I'll be translating will be featured on almost all World War II German maps, and so you could use this as a sort of reference if you're unsure about some of the words, because as I don't speak German as well, very basic, a lot of the words are quite tricky, and even when you translate them online, they don't come up with the accurate ones. And so you could use this as a reference, as I said, and save the pain of trying to translate it yourself like I did. Of course, if I have made any translation errors, please leave them down below in the comments, it would be much appreciated. So this map was originally produced by the OKH, or High Command of the Army, Oberkommando der Wehrmacht, in 1941. But this is a 1943 4th edition that was issued to the Luftwaffe, also known as the flying version. As you can see, it's in pretty good condition, probably has been used a little bit during the war, but not overly used. I'm going to break down each part, so the title, the keys, etc. And so if you want to feel free to move forward and see if there's certain parts that you're a bit unsure on your maps, feel free to. Or you just want to see what a German map looks like from World War II, then this will be great for you as well. Right, so we'll start from the top and then we'll work our way down to the key, etc. down there. So the main title reads Deutsche Heerskarte, also known as German Army Map. And it says below that in small print, for official use only. Then, if we start to the left side, it says Osteuropa, so Eastern Europe, and it's basically saying that 1 centimetre on the map is 300,000 kilometres on the ground. Then, of course, next to that, it says Fliegerausgabe, which means flying edition. And then over here, we have sheet number A50 for the region of Starobelsk. So that's where this map is basically showing, is the region of Starobelsk. Okay, so we'll move on to the key or legend now, also known as Zeichener Klarung. I hope I pronounced that right. So basically going through the different cities, towns, villages, etc. and just talking about like the sizes of them, which I'll go through now, like giving examples on the biggest kind of things to the smallest. And an example of a city, as you can see, Baku. So the first one is Baku, which is a major city with over 100,000 inhabitants. Then we have Frolov, I believe you say, is a medium-sized town with 30,000 to 100,000 inhabitants. Then we have, oh god, Sebesh, I want to say, which is a small town with 5,000 to 30,000 inhabitants. Osetishi, which is a market town with under 5,000 inhabitants. Nagorji, which is a big village, and Tronnewo, which is a small village. I'm very sorry if I pronounce them wrong. Then below that, we'll start listing. Let me get my translations out. We're going to start listing all the different types of boundaries and all that sort of thing here. So we have, first one, multi-track railway, single-track railway, industry and branch line, narrow gauge railway, railway under construction, and next to that we have railway out of service, through traffic, road with good structure, road with less good structure, improved country road, other ways, footpath, winter trail, log road, also known as a cordery, I believe, oil line, state border, border of federal republics, border of autonomous republics, territorial boundaries, and district boundaries. So we've now gone through the key down to there, and we'll continue now onto this part here. Right, so we'll start now at Eisenbrücke. We'll go down to Sandbank, then we'll go and do them, and then we'll do the rest of them. So to start with, Eisenbrücke, iron bridge, then we have wooden bridge, section of a river, waterfall, lock, ford, ferry for vehicles, passenger ferry, harbour or port, and then well or fountain. And then starting over on this side, we have watermill, drying river, beginning of fluidity, lake or sea, and then position is uncertain. Then we'll start from Brunnen now. So we have source, fountain with pumping station, dried up well or fountain, water hole or pool, rainwater pit, underground canal, canal, dry riverbed, tundra, sandy, stone or rocky desert, forest with snow, bush, snow peaks or glaciers, meadow, marsh, reed, rice or paddy fields, salt marsh or salt pan, and swamp. And now starting onto this part here, we have fabric, also known as factory, tractor station, airfield, shaft, forest guardhouse, forest office, radio station, post and telegraph, church, customs office, lighthouse, beacon light, mosque, graveyard, winter hut or cottage, nomadic camp, brain, barn, pass, mine, pit, quarry and dam. And then starting on these little parts here, we have peak, climax, leveling point, trigonometric point, astronomical point. Then we have over on this part here, meteorological station, hydrological station. And then the last part there, I can't really read that properly and translate it. So if you can, feel free to let me know in the comments. All right, so moving on to the abbreviations, also known as Abkürzungen. We're going to start from the left hand side here with barracks and move all the way down to here after. So BAR, barracks. Then we have railway station. Then after that we have BW. Now I'm not 100% sure. I think it's something to do with signals, like signalman or something. If you could let me know down below, that'd be much appreciated. Then we have well, mountain, mine, cemetery. And then GRBH, we have mound or hillock, I believe. H, we have hut or cottage. Then we have halting place, house, yard or courtyard, and cave. Moving on to the right hand side, the first one I need a bit of help with. Haarzuffen, which is TO, I'm not sure what that means. I mean, when I put it into translation, it came back with something like maid or something, which I'm sure it's not that. But if you could help me out, that'd be much appreciated. Then below that, believe it or not, we have beekeeping, which is LMK. Then machines and tractor station, source, rain, or ruin, so I should say, barn, sea or lake, sawmill, coal mine, tower, brickyard, and then the last two are Soviet terms. So we have state farm or property and sort of like a collective farm for the last one. Now, as I said, they are Soviet terms, so I believe Sochos or Kolkhoz, they're both used in the Soviet Union to describe like a collective farm. And so they don't translate exactly perfect, but they are Soviet terms. If you search them up, they'll come up. So now we'll move down to the next part where we're getting into the coordinates and the actual working of the map itself. Right, so now we're going to move on to the part here where it says Gitter, Deutsches Heeresgitter, which means grid, German army grid, and below that it says coordinate scale. So here's a paragraph here that I'm going to read out. There could be a few minor misinterpretations, but you'll get the general idea of what's going on. It's just explaining, how to use the map. So, to read the horizontal division is to be placed on a horizontal grid line in such a way that the vertical division rests on the map point to be designated. Then the right value can be read from the horizontal division at the next left vertical grid line, and the high value can be read from the vertical division, whatever that means. The easting value is always to be mentioned first. The points are given in meters. Values that cannot be read are to be replaced by zeros until the full value is given. And here we can see the actual coordinate scale here that they use. Now I'm not even going to try and break this down, but as you can see, they would have obviously had to use this to use it as a coordinate scale and to obviously understand and work out the map. Right, so we'll start in the middle here with the title. At the top, it just restates the scale, 1 to 300,000. Below that, it says published by the OKH, and then in abbreviation, it says Generalstabs des Heeres. Below that, it says Chief of War Maps and Surveying, 1941, individual edition or supplement 1943. If we move over to the left-hand side and work our way over, in the top left there, we can see Grundkartenwerk, which means basic map work, and it's saying that a Russian map scale is 1 to 100,000, comparing it to the German one. Then we have Generalstab der Luftwaffe, which means General Staff of the Luftwaffe, 7 Abteilung Luftwaffe. Here it says more basics and goes through to list 3 different things. So we have the basic sketch here with the sheet number, status and printing date. Then we have the adjustment documents there with the sheet number, status and printing date. And then here, which is very interesting actually, is it says administrative borders. So we have the RSFSR, which is the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic. Number 1, we have Voronezh, and then below that we have Rostov. Then we have SSR Ukraine, Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic, with saying Voroshilograd, I believe. Now, as we can see, Voroshilograd, number 3, so that's where that would be. Number 2, Rostov, number 1, Voronezh up there. Now, if we move over to the right-hand side, we're getting into the more technical parts of it once again. A bit less interesting than the other side, but I'll explain it quickly. Here we just have a location sketch. Here we have any need for any changes or adjustments can be made and used here. And then this is obviously just explaining as I was saying before. Now up here in small print, once again, it says reproduction or improper use is prohibited. And then it says, I believe, copyright reserved. So that's the end of the video today. I know it wasn't like my usual one where I'd explain the history of the item, but I thought it'd be a bit boring talking about the history of maps, so I left that one out for you. If you did enjoy, please consider liking and subscribing the video. If you found it interesting, it'd be much appreciated. I'll end the video off with a few close-ups and of the actual map itself, of the different areas like Starobelsk there. So if you did enjoy, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.